However, over 2 years passed before that news actually passed on to the South. And so for over 2 years, many African Americans continued to live in slavery without actually knowing that they were really free. It was only on the 19th of June, 1865, when Union soldiers landed in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were free. So as we listen to the song, let us also reflect on the words that we hear and read, in the knowledge that for many African Americans, the struggle continues through systemic oppression and racism. There's a saying that we who believe in freedom cannot rest. And so as we listen to these words, let us know that we cannot rest if our African American brothers and sisters continue to be enslaved in different ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a short note. I'm on Central Time, and my calendar indicated this was starting an hour later, so I do apologize. I'm going to play the song. It's a slightly different rendition, but same lyrics, and the spirit of the song still remains. So just please bear with me.
Awesome. Thank you. That's fine. Kitaiga, if we can have the lyrics.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing the song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath the hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Kwame. There's gonna be more music in the hour. Thank you so much. I hope you're in the right mood. I hope you're in the right place. It is really a privilege to be together with so many good people. The floor is open. The mic is open. Our objective today is very modest. We want to leave this conversation having heard small and big ways that friends of the USA can help. So as the spirit moves you, put your hand up. You can click a button, you get the mic. Obviously, if we're tight with our comments, more people can speak. There's just so many good people here I'd love to acknowledge. One of my own mentors is here, someone who helped me navigate the international, if you like, world. And he always taught me, Yemi, anywhere you go, you must ask a question. You must say something. I hope he knows I'm coming for him, because it's only fair that I make him say something when he's here. He's a member of the Board of Trustees for UPG, and it's an honor to have him here with us, Dr. Wolfgang Deckers. So Dr. Deckers, whenever you want, you don't have to speak now, but I hope you know you must say something.
Okay, I can start just because I
Oh, I think you want, let me just check.
Okay.
Dr. Deckers, you want to say something?
Ms. Uruak, you go.
Excellent. All right, Uduak, thank you.
I
Thank you
do
for kicking
have
us
to
off.
leave, unfortunately, early. So in case I have to, I'm expecting my appointment at 8:30.
Thank you for joining
California
us.
time. Hello, everybody. So a colleague of mine, I'm a practicing attorney here locally, and just quick background, I've done extensive criminal defense work. So I've had the opportunity to sit on the other side defending, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm a volunteer pro tem judge. I've been for the past 8 years here in Sacramento County where I'm at as well. So volunteer means I give literally hours of my time handling and litigating, helping to adjudicate cases. So, and what a friend of mine called me yesterday, she's a colleague in the industry, and she kept saying, what are we lawyers doing? The world is active. The world is talking about Black Lives Matter, and we as a profession are overall quite silent. Why is that? And I started to reference her to the California Supreme Court Justice and the statement they just passed, being very clear on their stance against injustice and how, as a profession, we need to step up and do more. But it still wasn't enough. And so we finally, after over an hour of just talking and brainstorming, came to the conclusion, why are we saying that the profession is not doing something? What about us? Let's move on and do something about it and invite our colleagues to begin the dialogue. So I don't know if that necessarily ties into what we're talking about, but just seeing your sister as a human rights lawyer on the international part, she's a panelist, because I was telling her Benjamin Crump happens to be not only a colleague but friend as well. I said, well, I'm going to pull him on your panel. You look at your on our panel. You look at your network, but hearing also your sister as well, because it needs to be a global conversation, not necessarily only always locally. And we lawyers are social engineers. We should be doing more. We're the advocates in the courtrooms on the rights that affect you know, people that are underprivileged, including obviously and especially Black folks. I mean, laws have been used over and over again to suppress a lot of people's rights and to unfortunately really, really harm people. So in terms of what we're doing and what we will collectively do, we start with the profession where we are charged to be zealous advocates for the rights of others when it's been undermined. And so that's one step that we're taking. And I just wanted to throw it out there to sort of get the ball rolling for others that might be doing something similar.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. And this is being recorded, but we should also take notes. So I guess Uduak's point is basically to advocate and protect others whose rights are, if you like, undermined or not respected. Thank you so much. The mic is open. We want to hear ideas, small or big. Before I forget, we have a second UPG board member who's also on this call. He will not be able to show his video because he's in a pandemic state, apparently. But he said to me jokingly, but he's happy to be here and he may speak yes or no later. His name is Amadou Mahtaba. Welcome. Welcome, Amadou. Thank you. All right. We also have Bo Huppin, who's the president for Hurricane Island Center for Science and Leadership. He's a partner on one of our biggest global projects. There's several members of his team here. I see Jen. I think someone else was coming as well. Hi, Bo, if you just wave. Thank you, and Jen, wave as well. Thank you so much. If you want to say something, Bo.
Well, I think I would just say thank you to Yemi and UPG, and it's really fun to see a lot of you that I got to know last summer on the line here again. And to start it off, I think the message, Yemi, that resonated, which is your message, is, you know, how do we approach this from a positive frame, you know, and this message of what can we do to help? Yeah. Moving. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bo. Thank you very much. Okay, as the spirit moves you, please put your hand up. It could be a small thing. I see a hand. Dr. Deckers, is that a hand? All right, wait. You're on mute now, Dr. Deckers. Francesca, I see you.
So my point is that in Britain, the member of parliament for Tottenham has said that the Prime Minister has announced that there's a new inquiry now. And he said that there have been numerous inquiries, 10 in the last 15 years, roughly. And they all have very good points about this, that, the other, and so on. And so the point was not to have another inquiry, but to have action. And so it connects with what you said, Yemi, namely that, you know, as you also said, Ms. Uduak, there should be some action and not just always talking. This is all not quite right, but what does one do? And so in this context in Britain, the issue is the statues or paintings. Like maybe it's now 10 days ago that the statue of somebody in Bristol, a very generous man with his money, still giving funds today for the university, who made his money by the slave trade. And so this statue was pulled off the thingy there and thrown into the harbor. And so the question is, what does one do with those symbols? Because there is a history, which of course is part of Britain or other countries. What do you do with those statues? What do you do with those paintings? And the Bank of England yesterday announced it would take off certain paintings and so on. So the question then is, does one advocate action on those statues, on those symbols of injustice? As the song also said at the bottom, it says, you know, what do we do with a dark history towards justice nowadays? So what do we do with statues? What do we do with those symbols of injustice?
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Deckers. We'll put that down. as a suggested or suggestive action? What do we do with symbols? I think that's fair to leave that there. Now, because this is a brainstorming, we wouldn't have time to unpack each idea, but let's hear ideas. So anybody else, as the mic moves you, if we're concise, more people get to speak. Francesca, Francesca, please, you can unmute. Francesca is in South Africa. She's someone who campaigned in the 80s against apartheid. And I think it's a perfect example of something where the whole world was able to turn the focus on to help heal. How can we turn our focus on the USA in a positive way to help heal? Francesca, any thoughts you have?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I would like to comment on Ms. Uduak with regards to the legal profession, and then I want to please go to this art that Dr. Wolfgang Decker also mentioned. I think within the legal profession, if I look in South Africa now with my work being focused on gender-based violence, we have now started a movement to have the oath that attorneys take when they become part of the council, the Bar Council, to have it changed. Because we looked at the oath that is taken in South Africa, and it says it will uphold the Constitution. But many of these young lawyers that enter the profession does not know their Constitution. Let's face it, very few people know their national constitutions by heart. So we want to change that, because we found in, for instance, in gender-based violence, and this can similarly apply to racism, that in GBV, a lot of attorneys assist their clients to damage women and children. Let's face it, they actually act and help them to lie and defraud the court. So when we personalize or more that oath where there is more information about what it is of the Constitution that needs to be upheld, that it would inspire attorneys to behave differently and to guide their clients better. The same with every aspect of a constitution which address the aspect of race. When we look at your entry into that profession, and you can create a more congruent and a more comprehensive oath that person have to comply to, I think that already will raise your initial awareness. And then when it comes to the artwork, I would just like to say something very quickly. Post-apartheid, we had a lot of the artwork that was happening in apartheid moved, and I feel personally we lost the opportunity by moving them to educate the next generation. I believe they should stay. I believe that we should issue to artists a challenge to bring something parallel to that art that challenges it, that really brings it to the fore about why that statue, why that painting, why whatever that art form is offensive, and what it costs humanity, so that the next generations can go and see it and actually learn something from it. That's my view. Thank you.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Francesca. That was powerful. You said a lot and you were concise. I really appreciate that. Thank you. The mic is open. Again, this is a brainstorming. We don't need to build on or respond to others. If you want to, you can. But we want to hear ideas, small and big. What can Friends of the USA do to help? There's one idea that's already been in action, which is join protests in your city about it. So that's already happening. Are there other ideas that people can do? Smaller, bigger, it's okay. Any thoughts that people want to share?
Yemi, there are a few people that have their hands raised.
Oh, I can't see. Thank you. Nanu, is that you?
It is indeed here in Chicago. So can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining, Nanu. Welcome.
Sure. Pleasure. So I'll let Catherine first start, and then I'll dwell on the other points I have in mind as well.
Hi,
Okay.
everybody. I'm Catherine Starr. So basically, the conversation already got that way, but when I received your invitation, I thought this is great to speak about the US, but I think you have the opportunity with your global educated audience to speak maybe globally. I remember thinking, but you know, in France right now, we're in a whole denial about the situation. And is, I will say, as bad as the US and Brazil as well. And I thought that maybe having this conversation global, like it's already happening, we're hearing about the UK, South Africa, would really be helpful. I think I'm learning right now. And by sharing all those positions, I think we can progress. But I'm really delighted to be there and really understanding how collectively, globally, we can work on that. Because we have real issues. Wherever you have Black people in the Western world, I think those can apply as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Catherine. Much appreciated. And we're putting that down in the list as learn from the experiences beyond the USA. Is that fair?
Yes.
So let's continue to feature there.
It
All
is.
right, please, Nanu.
And I mean, from my perspective as well, we talk about symbols, but we should actually turn this around because there's a need to showcase positive symbols as well. Because somehow, if I look at the Black diasporas and the contribution to culture, to the art, to science, and so many other fields, it always felt that it's under the shadow. And I feel like we have an opportunity, especially when you think about our youth, to make sure that they actually appreciate and understand all the contribution that have been made to the world, but also kind of work together on that front. And I'm at the board of a school, and we're talking about what it means for Black Lives Matters to happen in a French lycée in Chicago. And I was arguing with them that if they don't understand what Chicago is, it's one of the most segregated cities in America. Between the South, the West, and the North Shore, you cannot be more divided. If you go to the train station at 5 p.m., you have the tale of two worlds. Caucasians are going north, and then African American and minorities are going south. And if you think about the architecture and the urbanism of Chicago, it was actually linked to a French architect called Le Corbusier, who kind of looked into social housing and separate neighborhoods with highways, so people cannot mingle. So redlining, Jim Crow housing practices, that's led us to where we are today. And unless this conversation is put on the table, you are kind of building up on issues that were never addressed as such. So that's just something that for me is critical. Symbolism in a positive way, and calling out why we are where we are and having a very candid conversation.
Powerful. All right. So again, this is being recorded just in case my notes fall short. But from Nanu, I've added two things to the list. One is feature the contributions that African Americans are making to society. So it's good we're focused on, if you like, the negative side that we need to overturn, but also make it more wholesome by also featuring the positive things they bring and that education. The second thing that I've taken from Nanu is looking at any kind of structured things that are creating problems, like the separation caused by the housing. Again, it's a brainstorming, so I'm just going to write that there. We will have the chance to unpack this. There'll be a space on the UPG forum if anybody wants to keep the conversation flowing. But thank you so much, our brothers and sisters in Chicago, Catherine and Nanu. Very powerful already. I don't see any hands. So if anybody sees hands, let me know. Armando, you see a hand? Oh, yes, I see Paul.
We have Paul, yes.
All right, Paul, you got the mic.
Great. Good evening to everybody. It's evening here in South Africa. I know that in some places it's different times. Anyway, just to get into the discussion, starting with the point that was said by Dr. Wolfgang, he's talking about the legacy of injustice. And I just wanted to add on that and say what we also should focus on is how can we be able to address the issue of the legacy of the thought culture that is associated with racism. So for an example, if you look at a structural level, you look at the structure of the economy, there was already mention of the structure of the legal fraternity and different other fraternities, you will find that there is a prevalent idea, and this is the idea that then has to be challenged, and that is an idea that would obviously place one race above the other. And I think that if we could start at looking at the injustices that are associated with knowledge, looking into the education that Black people, for an example, both in America and in other parts of the world, including Africa, the knowledge that is disseminated to them about themselves, about their history, about their culture, about their influence and all of that. And just basically, I think, just to sum it up without taking too much time, if we could look at the structure of knowledge and the structure or centers of knowledge that control the world, and particularly the racial implications that they may then bring to the fore, looking at history. I think that's my take.
Powerful, thank you. And I'm really happy this is recorded because I couldn't eloquently write that down. What I did get down, again, was two things from Paul. One was publicly challenge the idea that places one race above another. The other thing was challenge the injustices associated with knowledge dissemination, especially look at centers of knowledge. We can modify that later, but that's kind of what I captured now. I want to thank everybody for your discipline. You've all been very concise. It's powerful. Amanda, what's the next hand? Where should I go?
The next hand is, I'm not sure this is in order, but I see Phoebe.
Phoebe.
Hi, Yemi. Yeah, I'm in the car, so I'm on the phone listening.
Awesome.
Two things. I just kind of piggybacking on what was just said. Yes, a reevaluation of our educational institutions to include the historical perspectives of BIPOC. I've heard a million times just today on the radio, I didn't know what Juneteenth was. I didn't know what it was either. As a white person, I had never had any of that in my education. So a reevaluation of our educational systems to be more inclusive of histories. And then, of course, from the science perspective, increased support and opportunities for BIPOC in the sciences and STEM in general. And this can look like a lot of different things when we have diverse areas of.
Powerful, thank you. Your connection faded off towards the end, but I think we got the substance. I got two things. One of them was more inclusive education. More inclusive education, I guess, curricula to educate people. And you said VIPOC. I guess POC is people of color?
Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
B, so B for Bravo, B for Black.
Yep,
Black,
BIPOC.
Indigenous people of color. So
yeah,
thank you.
Yes.
And the second thing was increased opportunities. This is often controversial when law, but this is effectively, I guess in South Africa, what they do with Black economic empowerment. But I'm a big fan of this. But Phoebe basically said increased opportunities for Black, Indigenous people and people of color as a way that everybody can do something. Thank you so much. Again, it's a brainstorming, so we're not critiquing every idea, we're collecting them.
Yemi, I just want to clarify, opportunities to increase access to science and specifically science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and STEM opportunities to include BIPOC knowledge, because as we have more diverse knowledge in science, we have stronger science.
Beautiful. Increase access to STEM opportunities for BIPOC. Noted. Thank you. Who wants the mic?
This is Kwame. I'd like to jump in. I'll have my hand raised.
Yeah.
So one thing I'd like to mention is, I mean, protests are effective but by definition, over the long term, it's not sustainable, right? And I think somewhere last week, I heard one banker say the most powerful and most effective form of protest is economic protest. All right. So one thing that never comes up is how we as Black people spend our money. All right, we've got in the U.S. about, from what I heard, $1.1 trillion of economic power. So we have to be very thoughtful on how we spend the money and who and what businesses we spend that money on. All right, because when you look at corporate America, the billions of dollars spent in Congress lobbying for various causes that benefit corporate America. And I think if we make a statement with our economic power, we can force some of these corporations to do things that advance these causes that we all want to push. All right. And part of the reason that sometimes it's not so effective, there's not information readily at our fingertips when we are making purchasing decisions. And that's something that we need to look at. It will involve technology. It would involve technologists out there to create such systems that provide information to individuals when you're making buying decisions. And I think that will be sustainable over the long term. When you think about buying that next Gucci bag, right, you think twice and ask yourself, when you spend that $600, how long will it take before it leaves your community? Those are things we need to seriously think about as we're making buying decisions.
Powerful. I got that down. I'm not going to repeat it, but I think that's really powerful. Helping people to make a statement with economic power.
Financial literacy.
Yes, but there's more, and it looks like that could almost potentially be a project or campaign. Like you said, tech might be involved. I think it's a powerful idea. So it's in there. This is a brainstorming, so to get the most of the time, let's keep it flowing. Who's the next hand? Who wants the mic? And what I like about Kwame's idea as well is you can do it if you're in the USA, and you can do it if you're outside the USA, right? So I think that's really powerful.
I would like to speak.
Excellent, thank you. This is none other than my own mother. So please clear the airwaves. Let's make sure the sound is sharp. Mom, you got the mic.
Thank you very much, and thank you for organizing this forum. It's very, very important for us as human beings to realize that we are one. And there are a lot of things we can do together and live happily. There's no reason for us to dwell into color, because what I have seen and what I would like to be done is that the word white and black should be removed, because we know it came from hate, and because it came from hate, once you say, oh, somebody is black, somebody is white, that you have differences in approach, the way people are being treated. So I would like a situation that we remove the white and black in addressing people generally.
Secondly, thank you, Mom. This is added to the list. Very practical.
Secondly, the family, the school, the government, we all have duties, because we lost a lot of economic transformation. We lost a lot of social transformation when we keep fighting over race. If we understand that one woman brought, up two nations, as God said in the Bible, we all came from the same place, irrespective of our color. And archaeologists have told us severally that because we move from one place to the other, definitely we've been having changes. We need a situation that the history, people, children, should know the history of their environment. It's important. And family should always try, because the children are there with the family before they go out to schools, before they start working. So families have that duty to prepare children for the world, for the society. So we should not be feeding our children with negative ideas. If you bring about 10 children in a room, irrespective of where they come from, you will see that they will be happy together, they will play together. But the moment any one of them start hearing any negative thing about the other, then they start, keeping quiet or not responding the way they are supposed to respond. So family, we must make sure that family plays important role in developing children for the society. Another important thing.
Thank you, Mom. That's number 2 listed. Nice and practical. You got more?
Another thing, the earlier speaker mentioned that what are we going to do with all the statues that have been pulled down? I will suggest that we should build a hall of infamous people in the museum and put them there. And we should also build a hall of famous people, because there are a lot of good people in this world, wherever they come from, even from Europe, from America, from Africa. They have been working very hard for the goodness of societies in the world. They have been spending their money. These are people that we should put in Hall of Fame, and we should allow our children to see what they have done. People who fought for this, for the abolition of slavery, for example. Slavery, like everybody knows now, is sins against humanity. And this is something that we should be telling our people. The last thing that I also want to mention is slavery, because what is being taught in school is as if slavery is only in Africa. No, we learned slavery was in Europe, slavery was everywhere in the world. Just the same attitude of men against women all over the world, whether in Africa, whether in Europe, whether in Asia, whether in America, that has not even stopped now. Attitude of men against women has not even stopped. So this issue of racism is something we have to tackle. We have to make sure that history is being told the way it is. You see Americans now, people call themselves white. No, they shouldn't do that, because the people who are in America now, they came from Europe. So they are European Americans, and we know how they occupied America itself. So if the Native Americans now want to say they should go back to Europe, you know, these are issues that we must consider. We must be able to live harmoniously with ourselves. There is no, among ourselves, there's no reason for us to hate each other. And that is just my little bit for now.
Thank you so much, Mom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you ever wonder why Yemi is, I'm very proud to have be a fruit that fell from that tree. Thank you so much, Mom. And thank you for your presence. So lots of practical ideas from Mom there. Remove the current use of the words white and black to describe people. Special efforts within families to share positive history and ideas that reinforce the notions that we are all equal. Create a hall of infamy as the solution for the controversial symbols and statues. A hall of good people for those who've worked hard. Those are some of the few I picked up. Anything I missed was recorded. In the spirit of time, let's keep it flowing. This is a brainstorming, so we don't have to come back on these things. We have space on the UPG forum if we want to do that, and we can have future conversations. But I hope you're hearing ideas that sound like, oh, I could do that. I hope you're hearing some ideas. So let's get some more out there. The mic is open. If you want to speak, put your hand up. If I don't see you, Armando would see you. Armando, maybe you have some points of your own. Armando, you got the mic.
Yes, thank you, Yemi. So first off, a lot of great ideas. I mean, what I'm hearing is also basically everyone can help in every field, whether the lawyer field, education. One of the things that I feel is been missing is, I mean, everybody knows that we need to educate more. Everybody needs to kind of pick up the slack. Racism is evident in many parts of the system, and we have a lot of offices and institutions for things that we think are incredibly important: education, finance, these kinds of things, economic development. But I think this issue is big enough to where it can be its own department or office within maybe like a quasi-governmental office type of thing. I mean, it seems like there's always been some kind of disconnect between the people and the government in this particular regard. I feel like maybe advocating for some type of office of anti-racism or something to kind of connect these issues.
Thank you, Armando. So this is like set up offices of anti-racism where? In all governments? Is that what you're saying?
Possibly. Maybe you have a quasi-governmental type of thing. I know it's dangerous having the government in control of anti-racism sometimes.
That's fine.
So
it's fine. Not critiquing. Just to
the
capture
structure,
that.
yes, essentially yes, but the structure is to be determined.
Okay, brilliant, practical. Thank you so much. I see more hands. Ekaj, did you want to say something?
Sorry, just unmute myself. Just in addition to the ideas that have been shared already. So one thing is to think about systemic racism within institutions and how these manifest. So oftentimes you have a lot of institutions, especially now where this movement is sort of like the hot topic. So the focus is on how do we address, preventing people from using the N-word? How do we prevent overt racism? But the reality is that a lot of ways that minorities experience racism is really in subtle ways. And so there has to be an effort to address those kinds of racism. So the racism that affects pay, promotions, how is it that somebody who does the exact same work as, other colleagues is ultimately paid significantly less. And there have been a lot of reports that have been done globally, whether in the legal profession, businesses, whatever, in institutions like the World Bank and the UN, that shows that people from, African countries earn significantly less than their peers doing the exact same work, but from Europe. So there has to be a focus on addressing that. And I think those who come from the majority need to be ready to dismantle that, knowing that they themselves may have unknowingly benefited from the systemic racism, from the structures. And so knowing that in order to address this, they have to be willing to reckon with, sorry, this is from Salman, the story, okay. Yeah, so they have to be willing to reckon with the fact that if we are all united in addressing this, then there will be some discomfort on their end. So to the point that was made earlier about increased access, so increased access is a form of equality, but what we need now is not so much equality, what we need is equity. So there has to be a focus that it's not about everybody should have access. Yes, we can argue that there are laws that say that everyone should have access to, equal schools and so on, but the reality is that because of some of the things that was mentioned earlier by Nanu, like the zoning and things like that, African-American children do not have access to equal education. So there has to be that mindset that, number one, in order to address this, yes, some people are gonna need to feel uncomfortable because their status quo is gonna need to change, and you need to be okay with that. And then secondly, we're not fighting for equality right now because on paper there's equality, but what we don't have is equity, and there has to be equity for things to change.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we got that captured. Let's see. So, Dr. Deckers, I see your hand. There's so much energy here and so many ideas. I'm just a bit stuck for, I'm happy to keep it flowing, but there were some other interjections that were supposed to happen. So we were supposed to get comments from some key people who are here. I don't know when we do that. We're also supposed to have a bit more music to help us continue reflecting. I'm not sure when we do that. And we're approaching the top of the hour. Now, I think you got in the agenda we sent you an optional 30 minutes extra. So if you wanted to stick around, that's an optional 30 minutes extra we put in. And we were going to use that for just music. But I think with the kind of energy we have here, we might have to do more than just music with that optional time. So I'm open, if, again, we're family. So if somebody has a brilliant solution or even a half brilliant solution, I'd love to hear it. While we're thinking, Dr. Deckers, you got the mic.
Well, the point I wanted to make was, or 2 points, is a little bit in connection with what Paul said. In Britain, one talks about the decolonization of the curriculum. The problem is one has talked about that for 25 years, if not more. And this connects with the other point I wanted to make, is that in the song, there's also a line or two or three on God. And also in the talk here, God was mentioned. I don't understand why so many Christians like and vote for Trump all the time and will vote again, despite his racism and his extremes. And so maybe connecting with Paul again, the idea is that we would do something about educational material for people in the States as an example of action.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay. Armando, please let me know if there's any hands to go to. When I introduced him last time, he was not on the call. So I do want to highlight one more time that we have another board member in addition to Dr. Deckers, Amadou Mahtaba, founder and executive chair of All Africa Media and allafrica.com. He's here with us. He may not show video because he told me he's in a pandemic state, but he's happy to be here. So Amadou, if you want to speak at any point now or later, just let us know. You unmute yourself and it's good to go. All right, anybody else feel?
Thank you, Yemi.
Francesca has her hand
Amadou,
raised
you
up,
said
please.
something?
No, I was just saying thank you and good morning or good afternoon to everybody in the call.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so you said Francesca wanted to go again? We have something from Honor. We have something from Honor. Honor says she's in a noisy place. So she said, I think we need to find a way to educate and pull Africans in the diaspora and in Africa into this conversation. A lot of Africans in the US do not feel that this affects them. But yet our children are growing up here and experiencing racism. Africans visit and immigrants, and we all enjoy the fight. We enjoy the freedoms that the African Americans have fought for. All right, so thank you, Honor. If I can paraphrase, she's saying we should find ways to bring in Africans into this fight. So thank you for that, Honor. I'll put that down. Anybody else? Who did you want me to go to, Armando?
Francesca has her hand raised. I don't know if that's still up from earlier or if it's new.
Okay, maybe it's from earlier.
Hi, it's actually a different Francesca. I see plenty of Francescas here. It's a different Francesca. I'm also in the car, and unfortunately, so I can't say much. And thank you very much for letting me talk. So, two things I wanted to say today, and the first thing goes to something that was raised during George Floyd's memoir, during his funeral, actually, by the Reverend Al Sharpton, and he talked about Colin Kaepernick and what happened to him and what he would like to see. I think it is a very powerful statement what he said. One of the things that corporations have to do is maybe not say sorry, only sorry, but try to understand how they can empower Black people in the community, Black people in their own companies existing already, how they can look for diversity in, not only the Black people, but across the diverse communities in the United States, to empower these communities, including the Black Lives Matter, to propel them towards the boardroom and see, and that will start to make a difference. I think that is the argument going forward, or at least one of the arguments going forward. That's one of the things I'd like to say. And then just going to the point that was made earlier about history, about education, and about what people can do in the diaspora. One of the things that has always occurred to me as somebody of African European descent who lives in Geneva and Europe and who was brought up in the United Kingdom, I remember slavery being talked about once. I don't remember much about most of African history at all, actually. So African history is owned by somebody else, not by Africans. And I think it's time to go back to that history. Most Africans can't tell you anything that happened before Europeans landed in Africa. And most Americans can't tell you what happened, most Black Americans rather, and Americans by that matter, can't tell you what happened to Africans before they landed in the United States. And I think there's a lot of work needs to be done there to empower the histories of Black peoples, and that work can also be done from the diaspora. So thanks a lot for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Francesca. For the record, Francesca, last name?
Scott.
Ah, yeah, of course I remember. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Francesca. So 2 powerful ideas there. One of them, again, it's on the record if I got this wrong, but one of them is corporations need to do more than just say sorry. They should look for Black, people and organizations in their communities and empower them. And that could mean giving them places on your board, for example. That was one. The second one was ensure that African history is owned by Africans. Let's go beyond talking about African history from the moment of the encounter with Europeans or from the moment of when they showed up in the USA. So these are 2 ideas I've written down. So thank you. It's a brainstorming and we can all fix these later. What I propose is, since we're at the top of the hour, we use one of our musical interludes to allow us to kind of freshen up. It's only 3 minutes. You can head to the bathroom if you want. You can grab coffee. It's 3 minutes and we are back. Okay, this is a brainstorming. There's many good people here, but the music can help us keep thinking. Kwame, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I like the way you let your music speak for you. All right, go, take it away. You got 3 minutes.
We just want to party, just for you. We just want to party, just for you. I don't want to die, just for you. We gotta dance, dance and shake the brain. We just want to party, just for you. We just want to party, just for you. I don't want to die, just for you.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look how I'm living now. Police be tripping now. Yeah, this is America. Guns in my area. I got the strap. I gotta carry 'em. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the pad. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm kicking now. I'm so pretty. I'm on Gucci. I'm so pretty. Yeah. I'm gonna get it. Watch me move. This is Sally. That's a tool. Yeah. On my Kodak. Black. Ooh, know that. Yeah. Ooh, get it. Yeah. Ooh, work it. 100 bands, 100 bands, 100 bands. Contraband. I got the plug on who a hawker. Whoa. They gonna find you like Baka. Blah. Ooh, America. I just checked my follow.
You can have all the money in your hands, all the possessions anyone can ever have, but it's all worthless treasure. True worth is only measured not by what you got, but what you got in your heart. You can have everything, but what does it mean? It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. can do, then you can look in the mirror, proud of who's looking back at you. Define the life you're living, not by what you take, but what you're giving. And if you bet on love, there's no way you'll ever lose. Take a stand, make a stand for what's right. It's always worth the fight. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. You can't just talk the talk, you got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you, self-respect, dignity. If that's all you got, then you got all you need. And without that, you don't have a thing. Oh, no, no.
Rise up, love, lift your hands. I stand with you cause I understand. Ain't here to judge, just to take a stand. The greater plans, the creator's plan. Let's all rise like the day began. Reach out and touch with the Savior's hand. On rock we stand like his native land. Let the ways of love be the ways of man.
If you don't stand for something, you can't just talk the talk. You got to walk that walk. Yes, you do. It all means nothing if you don't stand up for something. And I stand up for you. Yeah, I stand up for you.
I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Kwame. Can we come back together? Thank you so much, Kwame. Oh, it all means nothing unless you stand up for something, and I'll stand up for you. Super powerful. Jan just suggested that Kwame features, even though we can't have him at every United Voices session, maybe we can force him to make us a playlist. So thank you so much, Kwame. Stay with us. What we want to do now is we're going to get the mic again, but in this, as a way of transmission or transition, let's get some of the updates from people who are standing up for something. So we have a few selected initiatives, and we have very short updates. I think it's 60 seconds or 120 seconds each, something like that, that are going to come in now. So just before we start them, can I get a hand to know who's speaking? So Rodrigo, you're speaking? Anu's speaking? Not Anu, sorry. Rodrigo, sorry. Vidya? Amando? Are you speaking, Amando? No. Who else is speaking?
Githaiga.
Githaiga, are you coming in?
Yes.
Awesome. So we got 3. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So I think that there's something else I wanted to share just before you start that. So Lisa had to go. Lisa left a message in the chat privately. So just let me read this out because I think it leans nicely on the music we just heard. Lisa said, one thing I wanted to say, if we want to dig in deeper, we should also remember that in our minority groups, these groups are not homogeneous. Within these groups themselves, there are major inequality issues too. Stronger voices need to help the weaker voices. Mentoring, providing longer-term path or development opportunities for each other. So the song said, I will stand up for you. And I think Lisa's comment suggests that that's something we have to do. All right, so let us start with, who wants to go first? Githaiga, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I can go first.
All right, go.
First of all, it's lovely to see all you new faces and old faces. And this has been a really powerful session, and I've gotten to learn so much. So if you want to continue the conversation once the call is done, for our members and champions, please go over to the forum forum and continue these the wonderful discussions we're having right now. And I'm sure Yemi will post all the good questions and brainstorming ideas there. As for our guests who are not part of the UPG family, you can join our family as a member or a champion. Now, as a member, you get to receive more updated information about what we're doing. And as a champion, you get more of a front row seats to all our initiatives and other access to other programs that you get priorities to. And I will
And
put a
so
link.
much more, man.
Yeah, yes. I was getting there. There's so
that's
much
fine.
more.
But that's fine. I know the time is tight.
Yeah.
But yes.
To make it short, I'll post a link where it shows the differences between a member and a champion and all the benefits that comes to the champion. Now, the special thing about today's session is if you're one of you single new guests that has joined us and want to join as a champion, can join for free. Usually, let me actually rephrase that. To become a champion, there's an annual fee that we pay, that you must pay every year. But since today, in honoring Juneteenth today, we're gonna waiver the first year's contribution, so 2020. So essentially for this year, it's gonna be free for anyone that chooses to join us as a champion. So I'm gonna post the link in the chat. And
Thank you, Gitaiga. And if you can please clap for Gitaiga, because that was an executive decision he made all by himself. Didn't get my permission, but I love that. I'm serious. He didn't get my permission on that, but I love it. Run with it. So thank you, Gitaiga. Yes. We will not deduct that from anything coming to you.
And I get points for the leaderboard.
I see. All right, awesome. Well, in all seriousness, thank you, Gitaiga. I think the initiative is appreciated. People are already responding to that. He shared that earlier today. In our 12 p.m. session. All right, next up, we go to, I know Rodrigo wants to go, but let Vidya, we can't have the lady go last, man. Vidya, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the
Hey.
conversation. And today I'm going to talk about the EPI. So EPI is a Empower People Index, will help to measure the people's power to determine their own future. And this can be broken down into 3 steps. Empowerment to scan. Here it is impossible to determine your future without access to the information. Second, empowerment to process. To process the information provided, you need an education and basic needs like food and shelter. If your basic needs like food and shelter are fulfilled, then it is easy for someone to process. And third one, empowerment to act. This concerns your ability to act on the information you processed. Here I would like to mention an example like Amy has an ability to start an NGO, and with the freedom of association, I can associate freely with the UPG to get EPI done. EPI is ready. We are fine-tuning methodology and writing the reports. We are going live on 11 July 2020. If you want to know more about EPI, then please log into UPG forum. Thanks everyone for the time.
Thank you very much, Vidya. The Empowered People Index is coming to you live via UPG and a lot of hard work. Thank you so much, Vidya, and the team have been working on this for almost a year. Isn't that scary? But we're all excited and nervous. We're looking at it now and it's really exciting. So coming to you soon. Rodrigo, impatiently waiting. You got the microphone.
Oh, I'm so happy with such great news. I didn't know about EPI. Thank you, Vidya. Congratulations. It's huge. And
thank you.
I'm here also to announce another thing, that those who are champions had access first. We had a sneak peek some weeks ago. And on next Tuesday, we are launching the beta version of our biggest initiative of the year. We believe that one way of helping not only USA, but helping every community, every person in the world is sharing, is giving. It's giving back what you can. So we are launching Goodwill Vows. and it's a platform, a website where you can make vows for any organization or any NGO in the world that you support, a cause that you support. You can make a public vow, and you can say, okay, I vow to donate for Black Lives Matter an amount of money this year, or probably if I receive the news I'm expecting for, if I get the job I'm looking for, if my company goes well, I vow to donate $1,000 or $50, $5 to that organization. And it's quite a game-changing tool, we believe, because it's free for everybody to use. We don't touch any money. You can make a vow there. You can register any beneficiary organization. We will just register, follow up, and be champions of truth about that. So it's a way to make public your commitment, and also to engage other people inside your community to make their own vows. And we are very happy to send you the website. It's a beta version, so you need a password to access. It's gratitude with capital G. So please take a look. You are invited to make your own vows. Please share with us any feedbacks you have about that. And you see that we have some NGOs we love page. Those are some NGOs that we in fact love the work they are doing. And Hurricane Island is in there. So please share our love with everybody there. And if possible, RSVP for our meeting on Tuesday, right, Amy?
Yes, absolutely. So we will send some information about this later. Rodrigo, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, just sorry for the timing.
That's fine. So this project has already secured a flagship partner. That flagship partner brings cash, but they also bring an audience. They have an alumni network of 100 million people, and this project is being marketed to that network.
Oh, and I just got an update here from Toby. We
Yes.
have already 20 vows registered with more than $30,000 promised to many organizations.
Thank you. And if you want to understand why we call this game changing, everybody knows somebody who says, man, when I'm rich, I'm going to do X. Man, if this project works out, I'm going to do Y. Well, guess what? They can now just make a vow. They can come online, make a vow, it's free. And the beauty is if that wonderful thing actually happens, they get to share in that prosperity with who they want to share it with. But by declaring it upfront, good things get unpacked. When you declare it upfront, people might support you to make that good thing happen because they know you're going to share. So we call this philanthropy in an interdependent way. You don't have to be, you have to wait to be rich to give. All right, please check it out. The link is in there. Password might change next week, so go check it out now. And if you want to discuss more, we have a space on the forum. Are we at peace? Thank you. All right, we got 10 minutes left. You guys are all so good. I want to bring us back. So if there's anything anybody else wants to share in the time we've had to kind of pause and shift minds. If there's anything anybody else wants to bring into the conversation, I think there's been so much that's powerful that's been shared. You can please put your hands up, especially those who haven't spoken yet. If there's anyone who hasn't spoken yet, you get priority. You know I love teaching, so I know how to call people out. Hi, Peshran, I'm looking at you. Amanda, looking at you. I can call you out even if you have no video, so don't think you're hiding behind no video. Coretta, for heaven's sake, my sister. How can you be here not saying nothing?
I think you've got Francesca raising her hand.
Oh, look at you. What a saint.
Lovely to be here.
Coretta is a sister, powerful sister, and she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot, actually, in her own way, in South Africa now. But she's lived a lot of what we're talking about. So I guess all of this is very close to home. But we will have chances to all share things on the forum. All right, whose hand did you guys want me to go to?
Peishwan.
Peishwan, oh wow. All right, Peishwan, let's go.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, sorry for jumping so late, but I'm really enjoying just all the discussions from everyone from a different background. So I think one area that many people touch upon, and I think is super important, is education. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a scientist in the US. And I think in academia, there's been a lot of effort, to increase diversity, to recruit students and faculty. But honestly, I'm here for 20 years and I really don't see a huge improvement about this. But I think a lot of underlying problem is actually, it happens in the community. So there, for example, I did my PhD in Chicago. In the Southside Chicago, a lot of community in the South, that are fighting poverty and crime and violence, for example. And I mean, of course, the cause is very complicated, but I think one thing that they are lacking, the young people are lacking, is actually role models. And I think this is also something that several speakers have also touched upon, that I mean, for me as well, as an Asian woman, it's just not nice to see someone who look like me and doing amazing things. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I think it would be nice to have role models.
That is really powerful. Thank you very much, Peishwan. I know somebody on here who's planning a wonderful global mentorship network, and I'm pretty sure they can help with that. So I think that's really powerful. Thank you. Mom, you promised to be concise, Mom? All right, Mom, you got the mic. Sorry, you're still muted. I don't know why. Wait, give me a second. Sorry, we're both pressing the button. One of us should press it.
Okay, I have. Actually, I just want to share. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
I just want to share this. You see, when the issue of George Floyd came up, I said, is it racism or mental disorder? Because we have to be able to determine when someone is actually displaying racism or that person has mental disorder. You find situation that, people may actually be having mental disorder and we think that that person is a racist. Because these are psychological things that someone may not be mentally fit to even hold an office, like office of a governor, office of a president, office of a lawmaker.
You're just speaking generally, right, Mom? You're not thinking about anyone in particular.
I'm speaking generally.
Just to make sure everyone knows, Mom is not talking about any particular president.
No. Because why I'm saying this is that when drivers misbehave in Nigeria, they ask them to go to psychiatrist hospital to have their mental alertness checked. So we should be able to determine whether somebody is actually a racist or somebody has a mental problem. That's just what I want to add.
Thank you very much, Mom. Thank you so much. Lucas, I can see your hand. I'm coming to you. Steph, calling your name just in case you want to say something before we round up, Steph. There's many good people here, and you're all wonderful, real warriors for a better world. So if you wanted to say anything, I'm sure it would be on point. Lucas, you get the mic.
Hi, everyone. It's the first time I'm attending this meeting, and I'm really amazed by the dynamics and the energy. So thank you all for this. It's actually because of Pei Shen Wu that I joined this session. So thank you, Shen. I'm a neuroscientist professor, so I want to use my analytical ability and bring up a thought that I think hasn't been touched upon, which is, during the COVID situation, we all worried about first responders, nurses that, put their lives into something. And then soon afterwards, the discussion came up, how do we sort of appreciate, acknowledge, support, better pay all these people that do these amazing jobs. And then suddenly the topic completely changed. Now it's a topic about Black Lives Matter. And what I realize in this modern time, that issues come and issues go so quickly. So I think something that we should remember when approaching all this is the factor of persistence, right? I mean, we should not just pour in today and by tomorrow is gone again. So I think it's important when planning and putting up strategies, one should think about persistence, perdurance, that we think about this not just today, but also tomorrow and the days to come. That's about it.
I love it. I put that down. We can all think of ways to make these things persist. So thank you very much for that, Lucas. Okay, we want to start rounding down. This has, for me, been a great brainstorming. I think we can take 2 or 3. You've all been very concise. So if there's 2 or 3 more comments anybody wants to make, especially if you haven't spoken before. I know you can see me looking at you, right? It's fine if you haven't spoken before. If you want to make a comment now, who wants to go?
That's me, Yemi Bo.
Hey, Bo, all right.
And I'll be quick, and I know I've spoken before, but I have to say that just bringing people together so we can get to know each other. And it's pretty hard to hate someone you don't know, that you know well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, through that, we come to understandings and ways we can work together and be better people collectively. So thank you, Yemi, for doing that, and all of the UPG staff.
Thank you so much, Bo, for your kind words. I've also put that down because that's something else we can all do. We can bring people together in our small ways, whether it's in your neighborhood. Of course, you can't really do that right now, physically. All right, Armando might hit me if I don't say this. UPG champions are hosting things we call community huddles around the world. And we give them access to our platform so they don't have to pay nothing. If you want to bring together a small group of people who maybe don't know each other, like Bo said, but maybe you want to bring them together in this pandemic era, hey, we've got software you can use for free. So thank you for that, Bo, and thank you for allowing me to say that. Armando, I hope that message was approved. Thank you. All right, who else? I could take another one. Anybody else want to share something? Okay, anybody else?
Yeah,
Coretta.
right here. No, I'm saying I'm very glad to see one of my sisters who joined the call as well, Francesca, and she's been raising her hand. So would you want to give her?
Please, Francesca, I haven't seen your hand. And I guess Armando missed it, which is unusual. He usually catches everything. So Francesca,
Thank you.
Thank you, Coretta. Francesca, please, you have the mic.
Yes, I would just like to say to everybody, you know what, and it ties in with what Lucas has said, racism and any form of deep-seated prejudice falls into a psychology of cruelty. How do we change that? Do we focus on it to change it? In other words, our focus is on it and we empowering it. I believe he's in neuroscience. I'm very focused on epigenetics, and I believe we need to change the direction. So if you have racism as the problem, to possibly look at celebrating diversity and to get communities to understand and to appreciate what strengths lie in diversity. I think when we can flip the mindset of people, then, and we can do it constantly, and we can focus on the advantages that diversity in the world would bring us, then we would have a powerful impact. I cannot believe that, you know, there's 7 billion people in the world and they're all like me. I mean, it would be the most boring place on this planet. And I think we've failed as a humanity to teach our children and our societies to focus on what a phenomenal brilliance comes into the world, comes into our humanity by actually embracing each other. That's what I want to say.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Francesca. And I put that there in the list. Again, I just wrote teach the importance of diversity. But again, we can elaborate that. I think that's really powerful. I think in the interest of time, I want to respect everyone and bring this to a close. I want to share, so Kwame, I'll say some words, and when I'm done, Kwame, you can play music. And as long as people are here, we'll probably let the music flow. For
Okay.
as long as Kwame wants to stay, maybe
I
we
can
top it
stay
at
for
30.
about 30 minutes. So
30 minutes. All right, sold.
Yami,
So
just
I'll say some
before
words.
you say your last words, I inputted the forum link here in the chat. So everybody who is member or champion can access that and we can keep on the discussion. Who are not, you can join as member or as champions in the links Armando sent.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. I want to remind everybody that just by being here, you've made a change. We weren't really sure at the time, you know, how many people would be interested in doing this. By simply being here, you've made a change. I hope everyone has heard small or big ideas that they feel, hey, I could do that. Or you've heard ideas that maybe you want to develop further. What's going to happen next is we will send you a thank you note. The thank you note will have links, some of these links discussed, but specifically links to where you can go to continue the conversation with this group. As everyone on the team has shared, you can join us to have access to our forum. Being a member is free. So there's really no excuse. And I think the form takes all of 60 seconds to complete to be a member. If you want to be a champion, it's 50 Swiss francs a year. And if you can't afford 50 Swiss francs right now, there is a box you can check to just tell us why. But Githaiga has actually saved everybody today because you don't even need to tell us why. Just put Githaiga in that field. So if you fill out that form today, put Githaiga in that field and you've got a pass, right? Githaiga, you want to put your name in the chat so they spell it right?
Yes,
no, because his
spelled
name isn't showing.
A-R-M-A.
No, because his name isn't showing on his screen. But I want to thank you all so much. Githaiga, you were saying something?
No, I said I just put my name in the chat.
All right, I want to thank you all so much. I've had listed here at least 25 specific ideas, and I know I missed many. So we're going to listen to this again, capture the rest, and put it all in a message we send out. I do feel emboldened personally, and I've heard things that I think, hey, you know what? I can do that. So I think if a few of us move to action, we all know we've moved the needle by just participating in this conversation. Thank you so much. All right, so Kwame?
Yep.
Anu, is there anything you want to say?
Wow, it was such a very, very beautiful conversation. My notepad is full. Thank you all for coming once again. Thank you for making this edition of United Voices amazing, special, beautiful. The first session and now the second session. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to the UPG board members, to the friends, family, you know, a lot of people that joined, those that have even left. Thank you. And we hope to continually be part of you guys. And we hope that you guys can join us as well. And yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Yemi, for hosting this as well. And I hope that we can take action, whether small or big. I hope that we can disconnect our minds from putting other people down and seeing everyone as a human being, whether white, black, yellow, green. We are all human beings. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Till next time, the next edition of United Voices is July 17th. And
you can RSVP right now. The link is ready.
Yes, the link is ready. Someone should put that on the chat, please, and we'll send it out as well. So you can RSVP for the next session, and it promises to be exciting. Thank you once again. I think we can have some music to cool off. Why?
Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Dr. Deckers. Thank you, Amadou, to our board members. I do want to give a shout out to Anu. Thank you for reminding me about that. For everyone who's a UPG champion, you know your unreasonable selves. I'm looking at you. UPG is not even 2 years old, but I'm really, the best thing about what's going on with UPG is all of the unreasonable champions for a better world that seem to just be coming to us like it's a magnet. So thank you so much. To our friends and guests, a lot of you really belong inside the tent. So please join us. But even if you're not ready, that's fine. We love you all the same. Thank you for encouraging all of us that we can do small things and big things to make the world better. Thank you. God bless. Stay blessed. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Here we go. It's a
Mami,
special
it's all
request.
Bye-bye.
Yes, feels the world going crazy lately.
Can you hear it?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Can we not see the way we're evolving, changing? Something's going wrong. 'Cause every other day is the same old story, broken record on repeat. Another man dies and a child goes hungry while my brothers cry for peace. Here's another war song for the poor, singing freedom isn't free. How can my heart not beat for these? How can my heart not bleed for these? Love called and asked about us, said she'd wondered where we'd gone. She's been lonely without us. She wants us to come back home. And don't you miss the way it used to be for you and me? Well, won't you please answer her call with me and say, hey love, we're on the way. Gone for way too long. Hey love, we're on the way. I feel a change is coming on. And if you're ready, follow me, and we'll be the change we wanna see. Love, we're on the way. Far too late, and are we too far gone?
In Africa, medical teams are into the country, blocking roads and airports.
Maybe I'm.
Oh, body, see what you carry. No more any money, make a body gonna give it to me sharp.
You have to be careful with DJs. They all have a mind of their own. So the UPG disclaimer has ended. I hope you like all the music. We're in Kwame's hands.
Yemi, thanks. See you around.
Thank you, Dr. Deckers. I'll be in touch. Mwah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I see what you do. You put your body into it. I love the way you move it, oh. I can feel the vibration of your body moving. You put your body into it. I can see what you're doing, oh. Baby, carry me, they go. Baby, carry over, no. Baby, shade it in the end about you. Baby, carry me, they go. Baby, carry over, no. Baby, shade it in the end about you.
I thought I don't mind the pepe dema. No, you don't mind. Nothing go there. I don't put the red, I should be the shake. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear you there with another man.
Go Kwame!
Good Kwame, man. My phone is blowing up. Everybody telling me they love the DJ.
say you fine, you know they get me and no be done it. I see you with the surgery. Anyway, me I no go get. Not only you and the one I swear. So don't waste time, baby, my rose. Ooh yeah, cause it be you I want, it be you I they want. Oh, I go prove my love, I go miss it all. Oh, I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear say you there with another man. The way I want you go get, I don't let come because you with another man. I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear say you there with another man. The way I want you go get, I don't wanna.
You know, you can get up and dance, right? You hear me? I know you're dancing.
I knew you had an agenda, man. I knew you had an agenda. We have to have you back, brother, man.
Go, Yemi.
No, I'll follow your lead, Danny. I'll follow your lead.
No.
Kwame, we have to have you back. But thank you so much. Everything's been so thoughtful.
Your busy body,
Oh my God, I love this track. Adana, you remember this?
Tonight.
Yes, I can see you dancing. I can see you dancing.
Oh man, this was in our soundtrack last year.
Why you do me like
Yes.
Joanna? Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna? How you gonna do me like Joanna? Joanna? Hey Joanna? Joanna? Ay. Hey, how you gonna play me like Drogba? How you gonna do me like Drogba? Oh, DJ Drogba.
Lydia, this is what the team was doing in Lagos last year.
Okay. But it's not nice idea to put on
me tonight.
Very nice.
Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh. Hey, life, hey. How you do me like Joanna? Joanna. How you do me like Joanna? Joanna.
I know this song for you.
Adana, which side are you on?
I am on anybody's side. I want to
Alright, Anu's taking it to the next level. Kwame, you go ahead and dance.
Hi, Roland. Can we see your face?
Kwame. You're starting the fire, man. You're starting the fire. Be careful.
Fine girl, make you no go there do fine boy like this. So if I hear say one thing, I go vex. Okini, okini nafia, okini, okini baby, okini, okini demi, okiti, plenty money. Okini, okini nafia, okini, okini baby, okini, okini demi, okiti, plenty money. Ah, talk my kewa, when I'm on
she want marry me, yo. I hope so she sabi kukuwate. Hope your love go sweet past the sheet up. Baby girl, I say your body na killer, oh. Oh, yeah, I get it tired of your body, oh, only on your body. That girl for the corner, there's somebody made a call, I'm they see the wine, I see fire for her body, oh. And if you follow me, go now, enjoyment go kill, I'm baby girl, you bad, oh. Girl, the way you whine, I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you are my woman, eh? My superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Die for the love. Girl, I want me, she want for the dough. Last half for the love. Girl, I want for the die for the dough. Die for the dough. Girl, I want me, she want for the dough. Girl, I die for the love. Girl, I die for the love. If I sing for you, you gon' love me, oh. Baby, love me non-stop. I will love you non-stop. Always place you on top. Baby, oh, baby, oh. All over the world, I want me, oh. Play the music non-stop. Tell them dance to my song. Tell them shake it bum bum. Oh, eh, oh, eh. That girl for the corner, there's somebody made a call, I'm oh, eh. They see the wine, I see fire for her body, oh. Fire for her body, oh. And if you follow me, go now, enjoyment go kill, I'm baby girl, you bad, oh. Girl, the way you whine, I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you are my woman, eh? My superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl.
Yeah, me.
Hey, brother.
I'll play about 3 more. How about that?
All right, man. All good. This is all your zone.
right now for me, you know. It's when they give me money, you know. It's need the money for me, you know. Give me money, you know. Oh, baby, right now for me, you know. It's when they give me money, you know. You get the money for me, you know. Baby, dance, so mark. I give you bad man days, mark. Oh, baby, this your waist, mark. You make it mad man grace, mark. I said, my baby, dance, so mark. I give you bad man grace, mark. Oh, baby, this your waist, mark. You make it bad man grace, mark. I said, my baby, dance, so mark. I give you bad man days, mark. Oh, baby, this your waist, mark. You make it mad man grace, mark. I said, my baby, dance, so mark. I give you bad man grace, mark. Oh, baby, this your waist, mark. You make it bad man grace, mark. Mark, do me so. Oh, my baby, do me so. My paloma, she carry all my love. Oh, Amaka, do me so. My paloma, I said.
Satisfaction, what you give me all day. When you come through, you just press my button. Ride me all day. Anyhow you want it, girl, I beg you. Mama, come balance here for me, girl. Anyhow you want, Imarama, you sweet, girl. Mama, come balance here for me, girl. Anyhow you want, Imarama, you sweet, girl. Too much progress, steady walking. Too much progress, steady walking. Friday, my love got my baby come my way. Yeah, and I love it. Sharply come my way. Make we go far away. Cool temper, love is sweeter. Make we run far away. Sharply come my way.
Along came to see. Oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct. Oh, no, Eddie man, don't forget. Moniko Pefun, oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct. Say she love me, yeah, love it. Sensima, why they for her, Benzima? Why you want $1, Sensima? This kind dance, you the dance, I'm doing the singing, you doing the dance. Oh, why you wanna do me wrong thing? Shut up when I sorry, yo. Why you they do me something? Why you they do me wrong thing? Shut up when I sorry, yo. Why you they do me something? Oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct. Oh, no, Eddie man, don't forget. Moniko Pefun, oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct. Say she love me, yeah, love it. Sensima, why they for her, Benzima? Why you want $1, Sensima? This kind dance, you the dance, I'm doing the singing, you doing the dancing, Benzima. Why they for her, Benzima? Why you want $1, Sensima? This kind dance, you the dance, I'm doing the singing, you doing the dancing, Benzima.
Baby, shamanama like a joke. Down, the back when I love on me, can know. I think of your body, oh yeah, your body from daddy, yo. Oh baby, your body, oh yeah, your body from daddy, yo. Any matter, any matter, Boko, Shama, any matter, Boko, Sasha, any matter, Shama, any matter, Boko, any matter, Boko, I go me really matter,
Oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct. Oh, no, Eddie man, don't forget. Moniko Pefun, oh, collect, oh, wale, oh, wanet. Pakam, body too correct.
Yeah, you're breaking up the dancing move. Oh, man.
Sensima, why they for her?
Kwame came with an agenda,
Why you want $1, Sensima? This kind dance, you the
Is he on
dance,
playlist? Kwame, do you have a playlist?
Hey, what's up?
Solid, brother. Solid, solid, solid.
Why you wanna do nonsense? So this kind dance, you the dance I'm doing. This is you do why you wanna do something? Shut up when I sorry you. Why you do me something? Why you do me wrong thing? Shut up when I sorry you. Why you do me something? Oh, wale.
Thank you, Kwame. Nice.
Amazing.
All right, let me pause here. Hope you guys enjoy the music.
Yes.
Loved it. Loved it. You should see my phone, man. Everybody telling me the DJ is on point. He's dope. He's this, he's that. I'm like, all right, we'll have him back.
Nice, nice, nice. You want this big head to get even bigger, right?
No, Kwame, that was beautiful. We want you back. I think I'm good. There's going to be a mass revolt if I don't offer you to come back. So please,
No
we
worries,
want you
man.
back, man.
I'm a champion now, so any way I can help. You know, you guys are
Awesome,
doing
brother.
great things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, so I guess everybody, thank you. This is officially the close for this month's United Voices. You're gonna get a thank you message with a link. You can bring the love onto the forum, and you can already RSVP for next month. Right, next month is it's always the middle Friday in the month, so it's the 17th of July. It's 17th of July, 2020 is the next one. Kwame, thank you, man. It's really moving. We got great ideas, and we're all, I think, in a state of mind, a positive state.
Can
of
I
mind.
ask something?
Yep.
Yes, Rosalind.
Sure.
I'm so sorry for joining late. Something just cut off. Kwame, are you from Ghana and are you in Ghana?
I'm from Ghana and I'm in Dallas.
Oh, all right. I thought you're here so that we could start opening our community chapter here. But
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey, no worries. We don't have to be physically in the same location. We can still start something. And
I love it.
when I'm in Ghana, I can contribute in person.
I love it. See, UPG is people in UPG are so action oriented. I love it. Look at Rosalind.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Be safe, everybody. Thank you so much. Kwame, you're free, man.
All
You
right.
good?
Thank you. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody. Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Stay connected on the forum. Thank you, Vidya.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.